What is the Aries eclipse on March 29th teaching you about power and power dynamics? Okay, let's dive into this. This eclipse is occurring at 9 degrees of Aries, which means that it will be occurring in the decan ruled by Mars, which relates to the Tower card in the tarot. And the thing is, we still have Mars in his sign of fall in Cancer. So this is really interesting because Mars is the natural ruler of the energy of Aries, but again, Mars right now is transiting through his sign of fall. Mars, the god of war, is not comfortable in a sign ruled by the moon, which is all about nurturance and self-care and emotional healing. So this is interesting because this decan of Aries, again, it's a decan ruled by Mars and relates to this card, the Two of Wands in the tarot. So in this card, we see a figure who is holding the world in their hands. This eclipse is all about shedding, releasing outdated systems of power. We are reorienting our self-care, which is all Mars energy. It's physicality, it's our drive, it's our motivation, it's our sense of power. We are reorienting our power to systems of self-care, with Mars being in his sign of fall in Cancer, the sign ruled by the mother. The other part about this lunation is that it is in a wide orb to Mercury retrograde, also in Aries. There we go. There it is. So you can see that there. So we are, again, redefining our thought forms, our mental patterns in connection to the energy of power, right? So we are looking at what are the thought forms and the mental habits that I have that are out of alignment with my truest, authentic form of power. So this eclipse feels like it is shedding, eclipsing out anything that is keeping our souls from our true feeling of purpose, right? And that could be a complete tower moment for some of us, a complete shedding, releasing, complete letting go, which is uncomfortable in the process of growth. But it's a different experience for every single person, depending on where you personally have your Aries house. So I would recommend looking at 9 degrees of Aries in your own natal chart, looking at the house system, looking at if you have any particular planetary energies there, because you're also going to be working with those archetypal frequencies in terms of the shedding and the releasing, looking at the area of life, because there is a cleansing that is occurring within that area of life. Okay, again, we are unearthing our soul's true motivation here. And again, this is going to depend on your own specific natal chart of where that is occurring for you, right? Like, for an example, like this is happening for me in my second house, the house of values, belief systems, money, the connection to the material world. And I have Venus at 6 degrees of Aries. So I'm also working with Venusian themes in the midst of this Venus retrograde as well. Again, different for every single person. Some other aspects to this lunation, it will be in a sextile to Pluto in Aquarius here. And yes, you can see that sextile, that little blue line. Sextiles are aspects that are really supportive. And Pluto is the energy of transformation, looking at our deep desires and death and rebirth, right? So Pluto already kind of embodies the frequency of eclipse season in general, because eclipses are all about shedding, releasing, just witnessing the magic of this journey of life. And so that sextile to this lunation is supporting what needs to occur, these tower moments that need to occur for our transformation. And I want to go back to Aries energy in general as the Emperor card in the tarot, because This card relates to the 4, the number 4, which is all about our grounding, our sense of foundation, the structures that we have in our lives, and how those structures support our passions, right? So this is, again, a reorientation for our souls to have a deeper sense of connection with our passions. And how do our passions impact our purpose, right? Like, there is this interwoven connection between our sense of creativity and what we're here to do, like our missions here on the earth. And Mars is saying it is up to you, like how you take action. But again, there's a reorientation towards action that is really centered in self-care and self-nourishment with Mars being in fall in Cancer, essentially. Another aspect here is that it is in a wide orb also to Neptune, who we have here. Neptune in Pisces still, which at the end of this month, Neptune will be dipping into Aries for a little bit. So we also have this sort of hazy, mystical fog that is impacting this lunation, where things might feel unclear, confusing, disorienting, and that's okay. Just be in the process of what change is unfolding. The other aspect, the last one that we have, is this lunation is creating a square to Pholus, who has been transiting through the sign of Capricorn. So we can see Pholus up there in the 12th house, at least in this chart. Unfortunately, Pholus doesn't have a cute little asterisk like all of the other planets, but I've really been developing my relationship with Pholus as the centaur who represents the god of wine. You know, Pholus is all about altered states of consciousness. And so this square, I feel like, is creating some level of tension where we are being asked to go into a state of an altered sense of consciousness, whether that is through, you know, working with some kind of substance to do that, or just dancing, laughing, breath work. There are a lot of ways that we can alter our consciousness. Even driving will put you in a state of hypnosis sometimes, where you're just in the vibe. So I invite you into some kind of state where you are like out of the mundane, so that you can really be in this contemplative state of what is shifting and what is my relationship to power, and how am I taking the action towards my goals, right? And again, eclipse season, we're not manifesting, we're just shedding, we're releasing. But utilize this time for the deeper insight into your own connection to power. And again, look at your own chart, because your chart is going to give you the insight into where this is on a personal level occurring for you. So I hope this eclipse season has been good for you. You can let me know in the comments, like, what are the shifts that are coming up for you, what your connection to power is, especially in relation to your chart. And yeah, we hope that you are having a beautiful rest of your day, and happy eclipse season.